सहनावतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्. Okay, so we are at the section of different yagnas. We finished last week, we finished 27, verse 27, where we talked about the pranas and the fire of yoga of self-restraint kindled by knowledge. So basically, first it was like do the sense control with willpower, but then we learned that that doesn't last too long. So you do it with understanding, with knowledge. So that's like a mini summary of what we did. And now Krishna Bhagwan talks about 5 more yagnas in the next verse. And these are all to tune our mind and purify. So we can take all of them, some of them, whatever helps us. That's how we have to. But you will see that how significant they are. And they are, little adjustments we have to make in our life. So let me do the verse. Whoever has the Bhagavad Gita, verse 28 of chapter 4. Dravya yagnastapo yagnaha yoga yagnastatha pare swadhyaya gnana yagnascha yataya sanchita vrataha. Dravya yagna is those who offer wealth as sacrifice. So even though they're talking about wealth, it includes many different things, and we will see. Tapo yagnaha. Sabko pata hai tapa kisko bolte hain? Tap karna. Those who offer austerity as sacrifice. So English mein usko austerity bolte hain. Yoga yagnaha. Those who offer yoga as sacrifice. Tatha is again. Apare is others. While others like that, Swadhyaya gnana yagnaha. Those who offer study and knowledge as sacrifice. Inko saath mein rakha hua hai almost, but we will see that what is the difference between just plain old swadhyaya, but with jnana yagna, it becomes better. Cha is and, yata yaha, aesthetics or anchorites, person of self-restraint, matlab jo koshish kar raha hai, seekers, that's the best word in English, the person who is striving. Sanshita vrataha, person of rigid vows, because जो सीकर होता है उसको अपने दृढ़ निश्चय पे रहना पड़ता है, ये नहीं कि जब मन आया तब कर लिया kind of thing, थोड़ा discipline होना चाहिए. That's what it's talking about. So let's see what he's saying now. So we saw that the highest is Brahmarpanam Brahmavi, Brahma Drishti. Agar wo mil gaya, great. But we know that intellectually we know it, we don't live in it. So what can we do? These are the other things we can do. The first one he talked about is Dravya Yagna. Uska basic translation hai material wealth. So outside wealth. But Swamiji gives a little more broader definition, and we'll see what he says. But even if we focus just on Dravya Yagna, so one is the wealth, obviously. That, whatever wealth you have, if you have extra, you should share it, of course. And that's what it is. And we all kind of do in our own way, but it's telling you why. And basically what it is that we have those 6 sharks in our mind, in a sense that jo hamare dirt in our mind, we call it. Kam, krodh, lobh, moh, mad, matsarya. So उसमें जो लोभ का है ना, वो दान से प्योरीफाई होता है. Lobe is what I want this, and जरूरत से ज़्यादा I keep hoarding, I keep wanting, that kind of thing is lobe. So when you do dana with understanding, वो लोभ को counter वो कर देता है. That's how we have to look at it. So, one of the Swamis brought out chapter 16 in this, and I'll tell you why. Because in chapter 16, Bhagwan says that there are 3 gates to hell. You know, कि अगर तुमको नर्क, because हम सोचते हैं नर्क is like something that we go after we die or something. Like यहीं बैठे बैठे you can be in nark, and those are the 3 gates. And if you do those 3 gates, it will make you enter the hell. That's what he talked about. And those are like काम, क्रोध and लोभ. He said those are the 3 things. So तुम आराम से बैठे हुए हो. Calm is like some intense desire comes. Immediately your peace is gone. Because you are obsessed with it now and you're constantly thinking about it. It doesn't have to be a material thing that you want. It can be somebody's behavior that is bothering you. Remember that. Then also you get very, very disturbed. So that comes under calm. And krodh is a flip side of calm only, correct? That, if calm is not fulfilled or if the desire is not fulfilled, you get krodh. So kama krodha. Lob is that greed that, I want more, and it can be an emotional thing or it can be a material thing, does not matter, or, something, or your ideas. Somebody is not, this idea must be only done or something like that. All of that can come under that. It's as a broad perspective. So these are the things that take you to misery, and misery is like hell. So that's why you should try to counteract this by sharing, because once people know the joy of sharing, what kind of happiness you get, so then automatically it will get counter. And then the daan doesn't have to be only of the money. Somebody will say, oh Baba, I am like hands to mouth, I cannot go and give. Hey, who told you that only money is the daan? It can be anything. It can be your talent. So some people, I do this so well, but then I'm just going to do it for myself. No fun. Why don't you share that talent with the world and let them enjoy it too? So it can be talent, your time. I don't have time. You make time for somebody. वो भी एक दान में आता है. When you're doing something for somebody and making time, so how you can take it further, and whatever you have, whatever anybody has, basically. Not thinking that just me alone, but expanding it. So it's like a logical, simple thing. But sometimes, when we are transacting in the world, we forget these things. And it's good to remind ourselves. To me, it feels like it opens our heart a little more. And then we don't feel like, everybody's taking advantage of me and all. No, if they need it and you're giving, consider it as a charity, that it's helping somebody, That's how we have to look at it. So that was the Dravya Yagna he talked about. Then he talked about Tapa Yagna. Tapa, English mein hai austerity. So again, one of the Swamis brought the 17th chapter, and I think it's okay in this class to, kind of bring the other, because when we reach there, then we'll open up it again. But you will relate to it immediately. So for us, अपन तप सोचते हैं कि भाई कोई गुफा में जाके बैठ जाओ, कोई ट्री के नीचे बैठ जाओ. None of that we need to do, because we are householders. So what are the tap we can do? That's the main thing, right? So the tap has to be done at 3 different levels. Bodily, sharirik, vachik means by speech, and mansik. So let's open it up, each one. So sharir se humko kya karna chahiye? Again, it comes under that seva. Like our teacher used to say, your body is, not to constantly keep pampering and, it got enough sleep or not, it got enough food. वो तो हम लोग करते हैं. Hey, what are you doing with your body? Are you making use of your body to help the world? तो इसे खूब मेहनत करो, जो भी तुम्हारा talent है खूब करो. I mean, I see Joe, even at this age, he's writing the book to help the world. All of that comes under this, because I'm sure he has to give up a lot of his, bodily comfort to do what he's doing. All of us may be doing those kind of things. So that's what it comes under that, physically you do seva, and then seva you can do of other people, whatever, in the mandir, and the sky is the limit. Whoever needs it and you have time and or make time for that, and do it. So it's all connected also, in other words, this tapa. So वो शरीर से हो गया. अब स्पीच से, तो शास्त्रों में बहुत अच्छा बोला हुआ है कि स्पीच कैसी होनी चाहिए. यू मस्ट हैव हर्ड सत्यम, प्रियम, हितम एंड अनउद्वेगकरम. मीनिंग सत्यम मीन्स टेल द ट्रूथ. Don't just gossip and all. Until you have verified the truth, don't talk about it. That's what it is. Because gossip is a big problem. 5 people sit together, start gossiping about others and all. No, don't do that. It kind of spreads bad vibes. Satyam होना चाहिए. और सत्य भी खाली सत्य enough नहीं है. Priyam. Say in such a way that doesn't hurt the other person. नहीं तो मैं तो बहुत सच बोलती हूँ जी, और फिर जाके keep saying things whenever it's not even necessary. You know what I mean. So all those comes under that, because खाली एक को लेके नहीं बैठ सकते. You got to have it together. Hitam. So satyam, priyam, hitam is किसी का भला हो उसमें. तब जाके तुम बोलो. नहीं तो like I think that I like this Buddha's I think our teacher used to say this. Have you heard of this? If something is better than silence, then you speak. Something like that. I don't know the exact word, but that was the gist of it. If you can improve upon silence, it says. If you can improve upon silence, then speak. Meaning, कुछ फायदा होना चाहिए क्या? Not just blabbering away for no reason. Unudveg kara mean unnecessarily किसी को उद्वेग मतलब उसको uneasy excitement कुछ ऐसा ना हो. Smooth. Learn to have art of communication, like they say. That's how it should be. And then the Swami also said that Saraswati resides on our jivha, like on our tongue. We say, no? Ki Saraswati resides. That's what they say in our Puranic stories. The seat of Saraswati in our body is the jivha, like our tongue. And so if we use it correctly, Saraswati Devi blesses us. So if you want blessing of Saraswati Devi, then do the austerity at a speech level. And I don't need to tell you, they have so many, proverbs and all those kind of things that, kind of harsh word can hurt more than physical hurt sometimes. We know all that. So just something to contemplate upon so that, when our time comes to speak, we use this. So the वो हो गया speech level पे. अभी mind level पे हम लोग क्या कर सकते हैं तप? So the Swami said, keep mind peaceful and happy. Because don't give, he's saying, उसने television से compare किया, and I thought that was such a good comparison. He's saying कि, it is, this stuff is like a television that you have given the remote control in somebody else's hand of your mind. उसने बटन दबाया, so either you become mute or you become, your volume goes up or, like your mood changes and all that, channel change होता है, so mood तुम्हारा change हो जाता है. So he's saying, किसी और को responsible मत बनाओ अपने mind के लिए. Whatever they may be saying, you cannot allow them to enter your depth of your mind if you don't want it. And the famous story about Buddha, everybody heard that the guy was giving him galis, bad words, and the Buddha didn't move, he didn't react at all. That because Buddha said, you gave it to me, but I didn't accept it. If you don't accept the gift, then it goes back to the one who was giving it. So that's how we have to remember this. Because this is also a huge problem in the world. उसने ये बोला, सारा time लोग, तू मैं करते हैं. So how do I keep my balance is remembering this, that is the tapas. And, and then kind of sublimating it with knowledge, basically. So ये हो गया physical, वाचिक, mind level पे तपस. उसके बाद उन्होंने कहा योग यज्ञ. So yoga yajna में, there are, one of the Swamis, he brought it a very important point. He's saying जो अष्टांग योग है ना पतंजलि का, उसको हम देख सकते हैं इसमें. Yoga is to join. So on one hand, the very broad thing is anything you do to connect to God by doing that becomes yoga. True. But here let's focus on a little bit this क्या बोलते हैं definition. So Ashtang Yoga में everybody knows, we have talked about it, 8 limbs are there, इसलिए अष्टांग बोलते हैं 8. यम, नियम, आसन, pranayam, pratyahar, dharana, dhyan, and samadhi. So he had talked about dharana, dhyan, samadhi earlier. In the earlier verses we discussed this. Pranayam it comes in the next verse. Krishna Bhagwan explains in detail about what pranayam is, that how pranayam, and then we'll see when we see the next verse.
Umaji, before you go forward, can you explain sublimating it with what? What did you say?
Knowledge.
Okay.
Yeah,
Got
like
it.
deep understanding, because उससे फिर वो dissolve हो जाता है. नहीं तो, oh, I'm doing so much for somebody, that kind of feeling remains. So then it will just dissolve. So those 8 limbs I just talked about. So here in this particular one, we can discuss yam, niyam, and asan. Okay. So everybody knows what asan is, basically, tuning your body in such a way so that you can sit for studies and meditation. वैसे भी it's like compare it to a car. If you don't keep your car tuned, you can't go anywhere. अगर वो ऑयल उसमें नहीं है या कोई भी चीज पार्ट ठीक नहीं चल रहा हो, हम अपने गंतव्य तक नहीं पहुंच सकते. सो दिस बॉडी इज अ व्हीकल फॉर सेल्फ रियलाइजेशन. That's why you need to keep it tuned. So, all the asanas are mainly for this purpose. Side benefits you get for health, but that's just a side benefit. That's not the main goal of asana. Nobody's saying don't do it for health reason, but if you do it for higher purposes, तुम्हारा health तो अच्छा होने ही वाला है. So it's like a bonus you get, but we should not focus only, oh, I'm doing this only for health. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so yam and niyam kya hai? And there is a precise definition in Yoga Sutra of Patanjali. So yam is, उसमें आता है क्या चीज़ें, 5 चीज़ें आती है. And I'll tell you in Sanskrit, and most of you will get it, but you will. Ahimsa, Satya, Asteya, Brahmacharya, or Aparigraha. What are those 5 things in Yama? Ahimsa is non-violence. So non-violence also, don't misunderstand ki it is just by hitting somebody, and no. It is by mind. By mind, you don't want to hurt somebody. That's the main thing. उसमें वो speech भी आ जाएगा. Don't hurt somebody by speech. Because physical level पे non-violence is impossible. When we walk, we might be crushing some little, what do you call, ants or whatever, little creatures and all that. When we breathe in. So it's not possible. But मन से मैं जानबूझ के किसी को hurt ना करूं. That's what is actual ahimsa means. Satya, we already know, truthfulness, and that also has a broad scope. You already know that, speak the truth. Asteya is non-stealing, meaning वो non-stealing इसलिए बोला है कि जो मुझे मेरे प्रारब्ध में मिला है वो totally fine, and I should, if I have enough, I should share it. पर किसी और की संपत्ति मेरी हो जाए, किसी और का, greed आ जाता है इसमें. मेरा ही है वो तो है ही, मैं वो सबका भी ले लूं. So any kind of chori we do, it doesn't have to be a very obvious stories. People come up with weird ways to insurance fraud करेंगे, पता नहीं क्या क्या करेंगे, like all that comes under that. It's just a idea in my head. Hey, whatever is my product, that's what I want. I don't need to do this extra effort keep my increase. So everybody can contemplate upon that. Very interesting. They call it non-stealing. Brahmacharya actually means control of senses. It does not mean, कि भाई you like it depends on the station in your life. It's definition. So if somebody is like up to 25 years, if they are studying, they should be brahmacharya at a physical level. Somebody is married, brahmacharya means not running after other women and men. Okay, that's what it means. So don't take it literal. Brahmacharya means, oh, I have to be celibate or something. That's not what it means. Okay, it means where your station is, according to that you behave. And if somebody has taken sannyas, then obviously he has to be celibate. But if you're a householder, it's like not just being in your sense control. That's what brahmacharya is. Aparigraha means not collecting things unnecessarily. Hoarding, and I think that in America we are all masters of hoarding. So we need to work on this. Yeah, Geeta.
Actually, elsewhere in the Gita, Bhagavan actually says that brahmacharya. I mean, the lack of brahmacharya should only be with the intention of procreation. He actually that those words actually come there.
Which verse is that? Maybe you can, because I don't recall a specific thing, but you can bring that verse and we can, or if you maybe in that half an hour that we have, we can.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. And as a matter of fact, it's that they said that in the Bible also. That's why some of them pounce upon that. But anyway, just wanted to mention.
Yeah,
that.
and you know, like the way I look at all these things, we always call it a personal journey. If some kind of sense indulgence is coming in the way of your sadhana or is hurting somebody, that's bad. But each one has to decide. You know, that's the beauty of our scriptures. They give you a tremendous freedom. Okay, it is something, a very inner personal journey. Nobody needs to know. You don't need to advertise what you're doing and things like that. Hey, my mind is getting purified or not? Am I going on the right path or not? So we cannot define it in so many rigid words. In other words, you know, that's how, after studying the entire Bhagavad Gita and, you know, listening from my teachers and all that, that's the conclusion that I have come to. But you can definitely come to your own conclusion, but I'm just saying how I perceive it. Because sometimes what happens is when people take it very rigid, anything, and there's no room, but that's not what Bhagwan is saying. He's saying balance. You know, and this brahmacharya has been misunderstood so badly, because the real meaning of brahmacharya is the one who revels in Brahman. Does that mean that that person has to be celibate? No, Krishna Bhagwan also had a family and children, and Ram Bhagwan did too, and so are so many Rishi Munis and all that. So it's fine. But, you know, it's like a definition. You have to understand the whole thing, contemplate, and then apply it to your life. That's how I look at it. That you can bring that verse in that, and then we can discuss it. Okay, so where were we? Parigraha I was talking about. Was non-hoarding of things, and we kind of understood what it is. So that comes under yam. Now next is niyam. Niyam is more like a discipline of, you will see what are the things. So in Sanskrit they are called shaucha, santosh, tap, swadhyay, ishwar pranidhan. These are all coming from Patanjali Yoga Sutra, okay? So when we talk about yoga, shauch is cleanliness. And we know outside cleanliness, we all are very good in America, no problem at all. Everybody knows how to clean their homes and all. And also internal cleanliness. So when you say shauch, it has to be both. So like we take a shower every day, because if we don't, it will be a big disaster. It will be, we all will be stinking. Same way in the mind, naturally the dirt arises. Just like in the body, even if you don't do anything, the body gets dirty. So we have to clean it. Same way mind gets dirty, we got to clean it every day. And to clean every day, you do satsang. That's how you clean it. That's why they, you know, first thing in the morning, they were doing puja, archana, all those things, or the Muslims do 5 times. That's one of the reasons also. Constantly cleaning the mind. So that comes under cleanliness. Santosh is, everybody knows the word santosh in here, contentment. That, again, whatever I have in my prarabdha, I should be happy with it. You know, don't run after other thing unnecessarily and things like that. Tapa is, we already did in detail, austerity. Swadhyaya is coming up as a fourth thing also. But I just wanted to bring this Patanjali Yoga Sutra. And the reason I was bringing this, because these days yoga is so popular, but they are totally stuck at only 2 things. Asana and pranayam. They don't care about yam niyam. They don't care about dharana, dhyan, samadhi. So that's all. And yam niyam में कितना कुछ आ जाता है. और आसन बाद में लिखा है उन्होंने. पहले ये सब करो, फिर आसन. It doesn't mean that we don't do, but what I'm saying, इसको disregard नहीं कर सकते. That's all it is. Okay, so adhyaya is self-study. You know, like what we are doing. It can come under Gyan Yagna also, but if you read some kind of a spiritual book, anything motivational book, anything to lift yourself up, self-study, do that every day. Ishwar Pranidhan means attitude of surrender to God. So ये आता है कि भाई having that faith that I know it's there, that commitment. You know, nobody can shake your commitment, just like Nachiketa, nobody can shake him. That's what it is, you know, attitude of surrender to God is Ishwar Pranidhan. Okay, so this is what actual yoga is. And Dharana, Dhyan, Samadhi, we already did it. Pranayam, we're going to go in detail. So, any question on this?
Maji, what's the difference in the Jnana Yajna and Swadhyaya Yajna?
So there are two approaches. Yes, I see what you're saying. There are two approaches people took. One was that, hey, Swadhyaya means self-study and उसमें contemplation भी आ जाता है. And one of the Swamis divided into like a Swadhyaya means, जो हम लोग पाठ करते हैं ना, जैसे कि या कोई सत्यनारायण पूजा कर ली या कोई क्या बोलते हैं हनुमान चालीसा कोई करता है रोज, कोई विष्णु सहस्त्र नाम करता है, कोई देवी की पूजा करता है, all that he called Swadhyaya. And when you call Jnana Yajna, now he's going very deep study of it. He's going in the knowledge aspect of it. But in the beginning, even that japa part is a good thing because usse ek discipline banta hai, and then mantras have like certain kya bolna chahiye, vibrations that purify us. So they almost believe that if you start this at, suppose if I don't know any knowledge and nothing, I don't know where to start. Say, okay, bhai, Hanuman Chalisa shuru kar do. Samjho. I'm giving an example. So they have a belief that जो हनुमान चालीसा शुरू कर देगा ना और वो sincerely करता जाएगा, उसका दिमाग में अपने आप खुलने लगेगा पर्थ. And like he will be interested now. He will, somehow his mind will get purified. And I tell you, like I go to this Hare Krishna temple, right? So sometimes, like if some young fellow is sitting next to me, I'll start talking to them. And most of the people who come here are non-Indians. Because the Pacific Beach, right near the beach. So they are like from all over the world. It's totally international. And sometimes I see like 20-year-old totally immersed in Lord Krishna. It's like, how did you get interested, हम लोग तो बचपन से कृष्ण तो मैं उनको पूछती हूँ कभी-कभी, So one guy said, I don't know, I came one day my friend brought me here. So I came to this temple. And then they were singing this Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, whatever, the two lines that they sing, the Maha Mantra. So he kind of memorized it. And he said, then I went home. And then next time he had some kind of an issue in his life, really disturbed. He said, I don't know what happened to me. I sat on my bed and I started chanting it. And all of a sudden I felt so good. All my stress went away. Everything went away. And that was enough for me. Hey, this is my path. I don't care about what anybody says, And then he became a devotee. He started studying Bhagavad Gita and all. Now he became a Swami, So I mean, this is a real story. Usne apne muh se mere ko bola. Swami meaning, I don't mean it that way. He was not like a sannyasi, but he had started studying and he has become a good devotee, sevak and all that. He may not have taken a complete sannyas or anything, but somehow these Maha Mantras, all of them, Gayatri Mantra, all these things, they do have certain vibrational powers that can purify our mind to a level that we get interested in this. So that comes under Swadhyaya.
Part of it could be a ritual thing, like you're saying, okay, say the Gayatri Mantra or say the Hanuman Chalisa. So Swadhyaya, would that be a part of a ritual type thing that, you just say it?
Yeah,
but
exactly.
To a deep studying, then it becomes a Jnana Yoga. When
True.
You study yourself or you
Yes.
study as who am I, then it becomes a Jnana Yoga.
So when he said Swadhyaya, it's like it's every day एक time जैसे स्वाध्याय बोलते हैं ना, स्टडी करना शुरू, स्टडी तो उसका थोड़ा सा नैरो मीनिंग है. जैसे कि कोई स्कूल जाता है तो एक फिक्स टाइम पे जाता है ना, 7 to 5. ऐसे स्वाध्याय का टाइम मैंने फिक्स कर लिया. लोग करते हैं ना, like my husband does Hanuman Chalisa when he's taking shower. I've been married to him like whatever 40 years. He's been doing every day. That's his thing, I know when I hear this Hanuman Chalisa, he's taking shower, So that's his discipline. Besides doing whatever he does, but he's in that habit. So,
I have one comment on this. I met this guy on the beach when. He's an American Sardar. Like he's born here, but he's more sick than we all see in other place. So he does research in UCSD in non-linear sciences.
Okay.
And what he said was that the consciousness resides in our what they call palate. And when we speak certain words, it affects the consciousness. So all these words like Krishna, Radha, all these, he had the whole list he prepared all over the world. And the effect is the same. So all these words, they have very big meaning from the consciousness point of view.
Yeah.
He wrote a whole paper on it. In fact, I have it. I can dig it up.
So the conclusion you're saying, Joe, is that all these things purify some things in our, whole system.
When you recite this, your
Yeah.
tongue touches your palate in such a way
Right.
that your consciousness gets affected.
And also we know that we had brought this point up कि कलयुग में जप को बहुत नाम स्मरण बोलते हैं ना जिसको, उसको बहुत ज़्यादा इम्पोर्टेंस दिया गया है, यज्ञ से भी ज़्यादा दिया गया है कि because it's a simpler method in Kali Yuga, but it has a very profound effect. So maybe the way the vibrations are in the world, that is very, very good to do.
But when you say Om, the palate is not touching. I was just trying to say how when Joe is saying how it touches, and I'm saying if I say Om, I'm just opening mouth and closing mouth. Nothing is happening inside.
Because Om का दूसरा science है. It's like, every letter of the word is a mantra letter. Did you know that? That's what they say. It has come from that higher self. It has come from the Damru of, if you want to do a look at Shiva's Damru. Okay? And I took a Sanskrit class I could not do too many things, so I had to get out of it because there are so many things happening in my life right now. So Sanskrit में जो हम लोग का वर्णमाला बोलते हैं ना, जिसको अल्फाबेट्स जो हमारे बोलते हैं, it is mind-boggling how scientific it is. Like हम लोग बोलते हैं ना क ख ग घ घ त थ द त न. So क ख ग घ is like same kind of sound comes out in the whole line. And he was explaining that, palate touching versus this touching, each one ka vibration is good. And when it's like if you talk in a rhythmic manner in certain way, that can create that vibration. Some people believe that the whole universe is based on vibrations. And we talked about it.
Each letter of our Sanskrit or Hindi even, the Shiv Sutra, he explains that what each one means in terms of energy.
Right. So whether you do it this way or that way, both will be beneficial in two different ways. And so that's why if you do all combined, so those ka effect aur bhi hoega. Okay. So that's how you have to look at it. Okay. So that comes under Swadhyaya. So you can, as I told you, this is how you have to look at Bhagavad Gita. Nothing is in a fixed box. So Swadhyaya can, little bit of Jnana Yagna can flow into Swadhyaya. Swadhyaya can flow into Jnana Yagna. It's totally fine. But we are understanding from each perspective. What he's trying to say over here is, in the beginning, if somebody does not know the meaning, just chanting mechanically, let him do it. Even that is good. One day will come when he will go delve into that. Other next. That's all it is. कुछ नहीं करे उससे तो अच्छा है ये करना. Let's look at it this way. So ये हो गया स्वाध्याय. Next is the last one is Jnana Yagna. So Jnana is now Meena ji is coming. That process of gaining knowledge. So that's where the word Jnana Yagna is used few times in Bhagavad Gita. This is one of them. And Swamiji our Chinmayanand ji has taken the word from Bhagavad Gita, Jnana Yagna. So what are we doing in there? We are contemplating, understanding, and going deep into it, gaining knowledge. That all comes under Jnana. So what we are doing in our classes, we are doing both. Swadhyaya and Jnana Yagna. I chant in the beginning, then I do this. See what I'm saying? So we are doing both. Yeah. So, and what is the goal of all these things? Jnana Yagna also, other things also. Jnana Yagna ka to definitely. कि हमको ब्रह्म दृष्टि मिल जाए. है कि नहीं? कि हम लोग eventually we go to that, we understand the Brahma Arpana Brahma Havihi at an experiential level. That's what is our goal. So in Jnana Yagna, 3 things become important. Shravanam, Mananam, and Nididhyasana. You're listening, reading, we are doing all the reading, that's come under listening. Then we are contemplating, asking questions, understanding, getting it deeper, and then meditating upon it. That we have to do it on our own, So with meditation and all that, it will go deeper. And then in Yoga Sutra, you can see what it is, dharana, dhyan, samadhi. So your dharana is you take...
Can you please repeat the three? Shravanam and then what else?
Shravanam, manan. Mananam भी बोलते हैं और मनन भी बोलते हैं, खाली मनन. And nidhi dhyasan.
Nidhi dhyasan?
Yeah, nidhi dhyasan is a word. Means meditating upon it. और वो धारणा ध्यान समाधि में धारणा पहले प्रत्याहार था. प्रत्याहार is withdrawing from the world. Your mind withdrawing from the world is pratyahar. Dharana is focusing on Bhagwan or any kind of thing related to Bhagwan. Dhyan is when you absorb in it. एक तो है कि भाई कोशिश कर रहे हो, धारणा बना रहे हो, और फिर absorb हो गए, और समाधि means you are totally merged at that point. That is the highest state. जो समाधि में चला गया फिर वो सेल्फ रियलाइज हो जाता है. द ट्रू टेक्निकल मीनिंग वुड बी समाधि, उसकी बुद्धि समान हो जाती है. लाइक वी डिड स्थित प्रज्ञ के लक्षण हमने किए ना. द पर्सन हु इज 24 आवर्स इन समाधि बिकॉज ही इज 24 आवर्स एस्टैब्लिश्ड इन दैट नॉलेज. हम लोग का अभी कच्चा है, हम लोग का फ्लक्चुएट करता है बहुत, सो वी आर ट्राइंग टू मेक इट डीपर. So that's the basic thing. And the last part, go ahead.
So would you say when we talked about the listening, and Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam, and then comes the Pratyahara, because dharana is being single pointed, one, just like the oil flowing, dharana of the same. So so that single mindedness, right? On the single pointed, I would say, right? And dhyana, and absorb in that mantra or whatever you have, dhyan lagana us pe hai, and then samadhi, and then once you get into that, then it becomes the silent afterwards, and that's where you attain it.
Right.
So
but pratyahar comes before. Pratyahar ka meaning is different than what, is that what you said? Pratyahar comes after?
Because I thought that's what you said. Pratyahara,
No.
dharana, dhyana, samadhi.
Yes, true. So pratyahar पहले आता है, उसके बाद आता है धारणा ध्यान समाधि.
So, and the pratyahara, okay, then would you define this? Because
Yes, I will, yeah.
When we talk about Shravanam, Mananam, and Nididhyasanam, right? That is one thing. And Nididhyasanam, contemplation, and then comes. So contemplation, you're thinking about what you just said. Like what you said, I contemplate on that, right? And then Nididhyasanam, then to abide in it, to make certain that it's there. And then dharana, does dharana then come in afterwards, or dharana is the same thing as nididhyasana? That's what my question would be.
No, when we say Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasan, जब हम धारणा बोल रहे हैं ना, that is more मननम में भी आ सकता है, if you want to keep aligned. It is kind of a two different angles to take. One is Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasan. One is Pratyahar, Dharana, Dhyan, Samadhi, right? So keep them two separate first. So let's look at each one. Shravanam is मैंने ब्रह्म ज्ञान के बारे में सुना. अच्छा, अब मैं उस पर कॉन्टम्पलेट किया, और मेरे डाउट सारे निकाल दिए. अब मैं मेडिटेशन पे बैठ के उसके बारे में सोच रही हूँ. So this is one way of looking at it. पतंजलि योग सूत्र में जाओ, प्रत्याहार is withdrawing from the world. प्रत्याहार means, hey, मेरा दिमाग संसार में लगा हुआ है सारा टाइम. I'm 5 इंद्रियाज are constantly outwards. मैं उनको थोड़ा विड्रॉ करके अब मैं प्रत्याहार धारणा करती हूँ. धारणा में जो मैंने सुना है आत्मज्ञान के बारे में, उसके बारे में मैं सोचना शुरू करती हूँ. और धारणा में अभी मेरा पक्का नहीं हुआ है, तो मैं कोशिश कर रही हूँ उसको एक धार लगाने के लिए. अब मेरा हो गया, मेरा थोड़ा विड्रॉ अच्छे से हो गया, मेरा विचार एक ही तरह चल रहा है, तो वो धारणा ध्यान में बदल जाता है. और अगर कंसिस्टेंटली ध्यान चालू रहे तो एक दिन समाधि हो जाती है फिर.
Great. Thank you so much.
No problem. Okay.
Uma ji, please explain dharana and dharanam. Dharanam.
वो कहाँ है धननम?
You said
Oh
dharna.
no, mananam.
Mananam.
Man.
Okay, sorry, I got it wrong.
Yes, dharana and man. So mananam means man se hai na. Everybody understand man, right? Man. Mananam means contemplation. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Any other doubts, questions? Okay. So the last part of this verse is that these people who have taken this, who are seekers, they have the rigid vows, and they do these, क्या बोलते हैं ना, डिसिप्लिन है उनके पास बहुत. तो ये नहीं कि भाई जब मन आया कर लिया, जैसे अब स्टडी ग्रुप है, ओ बहन जब टाइम होएगा मैं चली जाऊंगी, नहीं तो नहीं ऐसे नहीं होएगा फिर. Then nothing will happen. You gotta say, hey, I'm going to do this, rain or shine. Some extreme emergency, nobody's talking about that. But generally, have a very serious discipline, तब जाके उसमें कुछ progress होता है. Casually ऐसे कुछ भी ले लो, and at our age, nobody needs to tell us that. जहाँ पर तुम effort डालोगे, वहीं पर तुमको result मिलेगा. Like Swamiji used to say, oh, there are some people who will say, मैं तो कुछ खाती नहीं हूँ, फिर भी मेरा वेट पता नहीं कैसे बढ़ जाता है. That's not possible scientifically. Go see what you're doing. So that's what it is. Yeah, I'm doing so much sadhana, but कुछ हो ही नहीं रहा. Hey, are you doing it the way the scriptures are telling you to? Some blockage is there somewhere, and it is, otherwise whole system is laid out. It's like electricity and my bulb. If electricity is going to flow, bulb will shine. If a bulb is not turning on, that means either bulb में खराबी है या कोई electricity में खराबी है. See what I'm saying? So these are very scientific systems. If you saw how many things are there in yam and niyam, everybody does all those things, progress होना ही होना है. ऐसा हो ही नहीं सकता कि ना हो. That's why he's saying, this last part is saying that these people are drid vrat leke rehte, means, they take a vow to do these things. That's how you do this yagnas. Okay. So any question? Okay. So we can read now. Anybody would like to read who has not read for a while? Did you raise your hand? Yeah, great. Premji. Great. Come on, read. अनम्यूट करना होगा प्रेम जी. आपने वीडियो ऑफ कर दिया. हाँ, वीडियो ऑन है. हाँ, now you're okay.
So I should read 28, right?
Yes.
Yesterday. Got it. Okay. Others again offer wealth, austerity, and yoga as sacrifice, while the ascetics of self-restraint and rigid vows offer study of scripture and knowledge as sacrifice. Dravya Yagna, offering of wealth. Sacrifice of wealth is to be understood in its largest connotation, charity and distribution of honestly acquired wealth in a sincere spirit of devotion to and in service of the community, or also of the individual who is the recipient of benevolence and is called Dravya Yajna. This includes more than a mere offering of money and food.
So here Swamiji has brought out all the other things. वो अभी डिटेल में आने वाला है कि वो सही दान क्या होता है. देश काल और स्थिति को देख के देना चाहिए. ऐसे नहीं कि एवं ही दे दिया और the person may be misusing it and things like that. That's why sometimes when these people are asking for money on the street, we don't know if they're buying drugs with it or something. So real daan is you do it, give it to a really needy person who needs it for the good purpose. So it's, and also honestly acquired wealth. ये नहीं कि यहाँ से चोरी करके फिर यहाँ इसको दे दिया. other so see यार कितना उसमें है कि भाई if you really want a spiritual dan, then you got to take care of every aspect of it. That's why he's bringing all these things up too, yeah.
Term Dravya includes everything that we possess, not only in the world outside, but also in our world of emotions and ideas. To pursue thus a life of charity, serving the world as best as we can with all that we possess physically, mentally, intellectually, in the noble sacrifice called wealth sacrifice.
So everybody understood that it is just beyond your just monetary wealth, huh?
In order to perform this, it is not all necessary that devotees should be materially rich. Even if we are poor and physically debilitated from our bed of pain and penury, we can still be charitable because our inner treasure of love, kindness, sympathy, and affection do not all depend either upon our material circumstances or on the physical condition. Sometimes a word of sincere sympathy, a look of love, a smile of true affection, and a word registering true friendship can give to